Welcome back. This is part 2 of the MSN Capstone for Danielle Elg on nurse retention. So we were talking about roles and responsibilities of specific stakeholders within the interprofessional team. So we are now down to the role of the nurse managers. Frontline leaders have direct oversight of the direct care staff and have advanced knowledge of how healthcare organizations work at their level. These leaders have valuable information to share with the project team and can offer direct input. They can also share progress with their teams and other unit level managers of the status of the project, which will help keep keep it at the forefront. One of the nurse managers that are in this group will be paired with the nurse executive to create and roll out the Professional Governance Council for nurse resiliency. The final goal for this team member will be to become the facilitator of the Governance Council. A second manager will be paired with the nurse educator to develop the leadership training, and the third will be paired with the other nurse educator to develop the nurse residency program. The role of the direct care nursing staff: 3 direct care nurses will be asked to participate in this group to provide additional insight from the bedside, provide feedback, and they will have some experience within the organization and be well respected by their peers. They'll be nominated into the group by their supervisor of peers, and application will be reviewed by the project manager. The nurses will play an integral role in helping to roll out the program and help with staff buy-in. And then also they will hopefully volunteer to participate in the Professional Governance Council and become the chair people for that council. On to policy development. In review of healthcare legislation policies, there are a few public laws that address safe nursing and orientation plans. There's a current proposal sitting with the Senate right now that is called S.1567, and it addresses nursing staffing standards for hospital patient safety and quality. But it is, as I said, it was still sitting with the Senate. And then also looking at state legislation, there's only 2 states, California and Massachusetts, that have state laws governing staffing ratios. So that kind of brings us to our organizational level. What can we do to help promote safe staffing and ensure that we have enough nurses? And one way is to roll out this, the nursing orientation and residency program, and to make that into a policy. So the recommendation is to follow the accredited curriculum by the American Nurses Credentialing Center. And this has those 5 fundamental components that I alluded to earlier, which being leadership, quality outcomes, organizational enculturation, development and learning, and practice-based learning. So once this is developed and rolled out and it's been in place for a year, the organization can apply to the ANCC to get accredited, which also further develops value for the program. Metrics and data collection. So as a way to see that our project or program is having a positive impact on the organization. Metrics that will be reviewed are nursing-based and patient-based. So the nursing metrics are satisfaction scores, burnout scores, intent to leave scale, and the vacancy rate. And then the patient side will be the satisfaction scores and outcomes like falls, preventable infection, mortality, and medication errors. So nursing metrics: satisfaction, burnout, and intent to leave. So the nurses will be given satisfaction surveys on a routine basis. So, and then also they will be asked about burnout questions and intent to leave. The ratings will be based on 0 to 10, and how we will represent these in a pictorial way was to use the bar graph. The x-axis will be each of the metrics grouped by dates, and the y-axis will be the numerical scale. So it will hopefully show that there will be an increased satisfaction and decreased burnout and intent to leave. And if that's not met, then we can further analyze if there's other contributing factors within the team. And then we can also further, dive into those by age, gender, race, education, work unit to determine if there's specific areas that really need more focus. So nurse vacancy rate, this should be available about any time, but we will report it and put it in our dashboard every month. And so it'll be reported in columns by the percentage of open positions. And it'll be helpful to compare the rates over time. And we're hoping to see fewer openings as time progresses. Under the patient satisfaction scores, these are already tracked at routine intervals, but we'll pull in and plot them into the bar graph again to be able to visualize this. Satisfaction scores for the patients are expected to rise as satisfaction rates rise for nursing staff, because research has shown that when nurses are more satisfied, they do a better job, which contributes to the patient having a better experience. So, and if it's not showing what we're expected to see, then we will be able to do maybe a further deep dive or root cause analysis as to why that might be. And then outcomes. So this will track reportable incidents like falls, medication errors, preventable infection, and deaths. The expectation is that the outcomes will improve or the numbers of these will decrease as nurse satisfaction and patient satisfaction increase. So the best way to do this would be a linear graph where the x-axis is the date and the y is the number of incidents per population. So hopefully we would see a downhill slope with the poor outcomes decreasing over time. The data tracking plan. So the satisfaction surveys at first are going to be sent out quarterly and then twice yearly for 2 years and then annually thereafter. Nurses will voluntarily respond to demographical information and their working units. The interdisciplinary team will develop the surveys and email them out at set times. And then the vacancy rates will be obtained from HR, and they will be updated to the dashboard monthly. Satisfaction scores and outcomes will be tracked and collected by the quality improvement team, and those will be updated to the dashboard as well. And these will be available to teams at any time. So strategies for leadership regarding conduct is during the introductory phases of the project manager will task the group to develop a team code of conduct. This is a good team building exercise, and it works to develop a set of expectations on how the team acts and addresses one another. A component of the code should include acknowledging that each person has a differing opinion and they all have the right to express that opinion in a non-punitive manner. And also to be open, honest, and tactful. Rules and standards for decision making include ensuring that all team members are involved in these processes, and final decisions within the confines of team meetings should be made during the team, and that encourages morale and involvement of all team members. Conflict management. So conflict is a normal and expected event in team environments. It's not inherently good or bad, but it represents that people have different opinions. So unfortunately, conflict can be intimidating and make people not want to address it. But if we implement a conflict management policy, it'll help us to be more productive. So the strategy that was recommended by DI is to first declare the conflict. Second, share the reason for the conflict. And then clarify if there's any issues with this. And this would be ensuring that all opinions are heard, and it may need to involve a neutral third party. The fourth is one issue should be addressed at a time. Sometimes it becomes a bringing up a ton of different issues. We just want to address one at a time. Members are encouraged to share their concerns as they occur, not save them for times of debate, like number 4. 6, ensure that all members are participating. And 7, be fair and ensure that personal attacks are excluded. And then finally, a declaration of the conflict resolution and what the resolution is. Strategies for ensuring diversity, inclusion, and equity in the team and patient population. So for the team, the social responsibility statement is developed. The team commits to ensuring that diversity, equity, and inclusion strategies are incorporated into the decision-making process. All persons employed at the VA are candidates for becoming members of this interdisciplinary team, regardless of race, gender, ethnicity, sexual orientation, age, or marital status. The team promotes diversity to ensure that viewpoints of different cultures are considered. Additionally, cultural responsiveness considerations will be incorporated into job postings and marketing that come from HR. Cultural responsiveness includes concepts of cultural competence and cultural humility and acknowledges that culture is constantly changing. These concepts will be included in the framework of the coursework and mentorship programs relating to the nurse residency program and will be part of the education provided to nurse leaders and a component of the professional government council. For the patient, incorporating cultural competency training in the nurse orientation programs is a way that staff can ensure that they are competent and able to care for a diverse population. For communication, the team will meet on routine intervals during the phases of the project. The nurse executive and CEO will assist with broadcasting updates, routine intervals, and through various forums. Team members will have access to the SharePoint at any time. And the link between interventions and patient outcomes. So the goal for the project is to decrease nursing turnover rates and increase nursing satisfaction ratings. For the patient side, the goal is to increase patient satisfaction and decrease poor outcomes. There are many advanced nursing strategies that can be used with creating and implementing this project. This includes quality, research, education, informatics, team building, and collaboration. All these skills are enhanced by the advanced knowledge in pharmacology, pathophysiology, and physical assessment. The advanced understanding of these concepts is needed to develop and implement these processes as research and literature is reviewed and applied to practice change models and processes for implementing and evaluating systems change is enhanced with advanced education. And this is a copy of the timeline that was developed for the project rollout, followed by the mind map that was utilized and references. The end.